Get the stream out, and we will begin. Let me get my chats up as well. All right, we should be live. Oh, let me make sure that's muted. Okay. Well, we should be up. Let's see if it comes up here on my end. Huh. All right, here we are. All right. Happy Monday, November 17th, everybody. This is the 9th episode of Addressing the Issues. Hope everyone enjoyed Searching for Solutions episode 2 with my friend Terrence. He gave a powerful testimony to God's Grace Friday. And if you haven't seen it, I'd highly recommend checking it out. And I want to extend an open invitation to anybody who wants to come on for episode 3 this Friday. I'll likely talk about any topic you want, you're choosing. Let's just hope it's interesting. So if you're interested, go ahead and shoot me a DM on X at Samuel_S_Jones. Just let me know you're interested in coming on, and be ready to share your knowledge with everybody. All I ask for, if you do want to come on, just have like a reasonable quality mic. Hopefully you've got a webcam. It's not required. If you're local, I'll come around to you. And just have about 60 to 90 minutes of free time. So, yeah, shoot me a DM. Let's work on it. Let's get something going. Before we start today, everybody just remember, like, comment, follow, subscribe. Let's get some chats today. Let's get some chats today. Hope that didn't break anybody's eardrums right there. Mic was a little low. But yeah, I enjoy interacting with you guys. And share this with someone you know so they can stay informed as well. Also, one way you can help me out beyond sharing is if you're on YouTube, you can clip segments of the broadcast, the live stream. You can share those. Just share a short 60-second segment if it's something you find pertinent to somebody's information that you think should get out there. But yeah, let's begin. So, big news at the end of last week. Beef was taken off the tariff list under an executive order from President Trump. This executive order also includes coffee, tea, tropical fruits, fruit juices, coca, spices, bananas, oranges, tomatoes, and fertilizers. This comes only days after Trump claimed he would crack down on the beef cartel, which needed to be done. Beef companies are claimed to have been involved in collusion, price fixing, and price manipulation. This was squeezing cattle producers, farmers. It was forcing them to shrink their herds and in turn increasing prices at the grocery store. I actually had heard a little story from somebody that said that they had actually had to get rid of their cattle herd this year because it just wasn't profitable anymore, which is sad. Raising livestock it's a lifestyle, and it's not one that I'd be opposed to. I think it'd be pretty fun, but it's unfortunate that it impacted those farmers that way. But the UK is currently facing a similar problem with meat processors, so this isn't just a U.S. issue right now. It's apparently pretty wide-reaching. But this beef cartel, known as the four main beef processors, currently have 85% of the U.S. beef market share. So those people control 85% of the beef. That's a huge majority for just 4 companies. But the goal of this executive order is to increase the supply at stores, easing demand and price inflation on the population. So this should be good for consumers, especially heading into the holiday season. You'll be able to hopefully get your steaks around Christmas and hopefully sooner. It's not going to be overnight that this works. As we're buying beef from countries such as Argentina, it's going to take a while for them to get here by boat. So it's not like they're going to fly it in. But we'll see. We'll see how this impacts price of beef and all those other goods, cocoa, spices, tea, coffee, fruits, fruit juices, fertilizer. We'll see how it impacts it in the future, and hopefully it'll get prices down for us, the consumer. In other news, Department of Homeland Security launched Operation Charlotte's Web in North Carolina this weekend. A major focus of this operation is Charlotte, which currently has 150,000 foreign-born residents out of 900,000. Rather impressive numbers, I would argue. It's a lot of foreign-born individuals there for a city in North Carolina, but I don't remember it being that way when I grew up, but times change. But this weekend, Department of Homeland Security and Border Patrol arrested over 130 illegal aliens in the operation. But it kind of reminds me, I watched a documentary a while back called Line in the Sand. It was by O'Keefe Media, but its focus was on the U.S.-Mexico border and human trafficking. But during it, he was interviewing people on the border as they were being checked in by Customs and Border Patrol agents, and it seemed like probably one in every 3 or 4 people said they were going to North Carolina, and a few actually mentioned Charlotte by name, which I found intriguing at the time. I didn't know it had gotten to those numbers as previously mentioned, but the documentary is a great watch. I'd highly recommend it. But arrests this weekend took murderers, rapists, and sexual predators against children off the streets of North Carolina. Good thing. But this was long overdue. Charlotte is seemingly, turned into like a safe haven for violent criminals. Often just letting them go with a slap on the wrist. It seems to happen time and time again, day after day there. Matt Van Swoel does a good job on X highlighting these absolutely abhorrent malpractices of justice. Letting repeat offenders, 20, 30-time repeat offenders back onto the street. That's rather alarming, concerning. If you've been arrested, charged 20, 30 times, you probably shouldn't be let out, but that's how Charlotte works. It seems to be a rather corrupt city. But over the past few days, I've seen a lot of people post on how to support these illegal immigrants in the U.S. with lists of resources for aiding and abetting criminals. My argument is, if you really want to support your illegal immigrant neighbors, you should just show them how to download the CBP Home app. It will help them get home with travel assistance, up to $1,000 check. Forgive them of fines accrued for their time being in the U.S., and allow them to at least the chance to come back legally in the future, as opposed to a permanent travel ban from the U.S. But I think that would help them as opposed to aiding and abetting them. Possibly getting yourself in trouble too. So if you do want to help them, don't aid and abet the criminals. They'll likely charge you as well, so you should probably just work with them to plan their departure in hopes that they can come back again in the future. That would be the real way of helping these people as opposed to ensuring that they are banned. Furthermore, the Attorney General of Florida, James Othmeyer, held a press conference today in conjunction with U.S. Marshals. He announced the successes of the largest child rescue mission in U.S. history. The successes of this operation, I think it was called Operation Home for the Holidays. Its successes include 122 children have been rescued over the past 2 weeks, and 6 felony arrests with additional charges expected as investigations continue. This tops a previous record of 60 children rescued from a July operation, also conducted from the state of Florida in conjunction with U.S. Marshals. But Attorney General Othmeyer claimed that this wasn't the end of the mission, but really only the beginning in the press conference. Ages of victims that were rescued ranged from 17 years old to as young as 23 months old. It's unreal. But Attorney General Othmeyer also finished the press conference by stating, he said, "By now you should know if you come into Florida and you want to lay a finger on our kids, if you want to come into Florida, or if you want to prey upon them, if you want to groom them, if you want to abuse them, everybody up here is coming for you with everything we've got. We're going to lock you up for as long as possible, and where eligible for child sex battery, we will indeed seek the death penalty. So child predators, stay out of Florida. You are not welcome here. If you come here, we will hold you accountable to the fullest extent of the law." And to which I say, beautiful. Do it. Also, thank you, Florida law enforcement and U.S. Marshals, for making this happen, saving these innocent children's lives. No child ever deserves to be in that position. Never. And I hope you do hold every single one of these criminals accountable to the fullest extent. The fullest. Go as hard as you can on them. They earned it. I guess last week it was, maybe at the end of last week, Thanksgiving prices were released by Walmart. It's been claimed that the price is down 25%. I did a little bit of research on that, and that's not exactly true. The real percentage is closer to down 1.8% from the products on this year's list compared to their price last year. The main issue with these lists and their pricing is from year to year, the items on the list change. It'll be different. Like last year, they wanted you to make your stuffing homemade. This year, it has stovetop on the Walmart list. So the amount of products went down from, I believe, 20-something to 15 this year. But the ones that are on this list have gone down 1.8% overall in total price from their price last year. So it's not 25, it's only 1.8, but it's still down. It's money in your pocket, so guess we can be appreciative. And another issue is that these are sold as a bundle from Walmart, meaning Walmart fixes the price of the bundle itself. So that does make a little bit of a difference. But from the items on this year's list, it only cost this year $41.06, as opposed to last year, the same items on the list would have cost $41.80. So the total is down 74 cents from 2024. The only item on the list that's price has gone up is the main dish, turkey. The price of turkey in 2024 was $11.88, and this year the price has risen to $13.10. But every single other item's price has gone down in the last year, so overall it's cheaper. But the raise in the price of turkey, it's likely due to the bird flu outbreak and the mass culling of turkey flocks. So keep that in mind when you're paying a little bit more for your turkey, but a little less for everything else. There's a reason why the turkey's more this year. It is because of the bird flu. In other Thanksgiving news, the FAA has announced it has rescinded its emergency order limiting flights at U.S. airports starting today. I think this started at 6 a.m. Eastern time, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it started at 6 a.m., maybe 7 a.m. Eastern time. I think it was 6, though. And it means the air traffic will go back to normal service. Unfortunately, this doesn't change the status of previously canceled flights. What's canceled has been canceled, and there's not much we can really do about it now, but in the future, expect less flight cancellations. But at the end of yesterday's press release from the FAA, it said, the FAA is aware of reports of non-compliance by carriers over the course of the emergency order. The agency is reviewing and assessing enforcement options. So it sounds like somebody's going to be in trouble. I don't know who it is. I guess we'll have to stick around and find out who's going to be in trouble over FAA violations, but it was rather mysterious, the wording as to who it was. But it seems like the FAA will have everything back in order this holiday season, so everyone should be able to travel back home, spend some time with their friends and their family, and enjoy some of that 1.8% cheaper Thanksgiving dinner. Sounds pretty good to me. Something I got in the mail today, the USPS has released its recommended shipping dates for Christmas. So if you're shipping things for the holidays, it's got its dates now of when you should plan on having your things sent if you want a delivery by Christmas Day. The recommended shipping dates to receive by Christmas or December 15th if you don't celebrate Christmas. They recommend shipping by December 17th for USPS Ground Advantage service, shipping by December 18th for USPS Priority Mail service, and shipping by December 20th for USPS Priority Mail Express service. So just remember, everybody, get everything shipped out on time or early. The holidays are always a busy season for USPS, so, you have nobody to blame if you wait till it's too late. You've got to order early if you want to make sure that you and your loved ones' presents will get there on time, or your presents you get yourself if you roll that way. I don't really get myself any presents for Christmas, but I know some people do it for their birthdays as well. And if you want your stuff to get there on time, just make sure you order early and have it shipped by those dates using those services. Another interesting, funny story I found or came across is the United Nations is holding its climate change conference in a city this year that only treats about 4% of its sewage before it's released into the Amazon River. Can you believe that? The city of Belém, Brazil, the host city at the mouth of the Amazon River, treats only 4% of its sewage before it goes into the river. Furthermore, about this conference, officials attending the conference do not stay at the local accommodations of the city. They instead stay on one of 2 cruise ships brought in for temporary housing for the attendees, meaning that they have driven a ship across the ocean so that these climate change advocates can stay comfortably for their time in Brazil. The 55,000 attendees who traveled from around the world via airplane to attend the conference this year will make a 1-hour road trip daily from their lodging site to the site where the conference is being held at. That's, insane. So remember, when they fly back home from the conference to lecture you about climate change, remember how rich their virtue signaling is and how rich the hypocrisy is. Maybe ask them, why didn't they just have a Zoom call? Well, I think that's really it for today. As always, remember to like, comment, follow, subscribe. If you choose to support me, there's a donation button below the Rumble chat. Should be over here. You can do a one-time donation or a monthly contribution, help keep this show going. And if you want to sponsor me, I'll show your video ad, do live ad reads, or even try a product live to promote it. I don't care. But I'll support any company that chooses to support me. Almost. Big Pharma will watch out. You might not get what you want. But, yeah. So, to all my people on the East Coast, I hope you get home safe from work today. And to all my people further west, I hope you finish up your workday strong and get home safe as well. I'll see you again live tomorrow. See what's in the news. Thank you, guys.